friends. I'm Deanna, and you're listening to the Well and Worthy Life podcast. I'm a certified health coach, and my goal is to help you become the best version of yourself. I've done a lot of things in my life before I found my way here. I've been a saleswoman, a fitness instructor, a business owner, and a mother to 3 boys, and now a grandmother to a beautiful baby girl. Now I'm just trying to live my best life, and I want to share my experience and strategies to help you do the same. That means talking about your physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and everything in between. Let's find the way to your best life together. Hey guys, thank you for joining me for another episode of Well and Worthy Life. I'm so excited that you're back. Hey guys, don't forget, when you listen up, make sure to subscribe. And then while you're there, go ahead and rate and review the podcast. I would really appreciate it. That's how we get the word out to everyone. So today, you're in for a treat. I have a friend, and I call her friend because I feel like I know her really well, and I don't know her that well, but I've known her for a really long time. Her name is Kimberly Morgan, and we met, probably maybe 10 years ago, maybe. And so we met because we both were Pure Barre owners. And now neither one of us are Pure Barre owners, but that's how we met. I remember meeting her and her sister. They both own the Pure Barre in Memphis. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, they are so cute. And they are so cute. So anyway, I've been following Kimberly along. I sold my Pure Barre several years ago, and she sold hers, and she's been doing a lot on Instagram, and then she kind of went away for a minute on Instagram, and now she is back strong as ever. And so anyway, we're going to talk about her story today. So Kimberly, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, and thank you for the kind introduction. It's been nice to reconnect because, like you said, we do go way back. So yeah, it's been fun to talk and chat.
It really has. So well, first of all, tell everybody tell them about your children, your husband, all that.
I am a mom of 2 wild and crazy little boys. They're 2 and 4 years old, and we live in Memphis, Tennessee area. And yeah, just running and chasing after them. Like Deanna mentioned, I owned several Pure Barre studios for about, it was almost 8 years, and really enjoyed that. But once, the kids came along, and my husband owns his own business, and it was hard with 2 people. When you own a business, it's nonstop, and it was hard for both of us to really be pulled in different directions, and then add 2 little boys to the mix. So I made the decision to stay home with them, and it's the best decision I've ever made. Although I think my job with them is harder.
For sure.
It's not like, a full-time job anymore. It's 2. So they definitely keep me busy. I also am really have stayed very into health and fitness, and still love fashion too. So I kind of try to cover all those areas on my blog and on Instagram and social media.
Yeah. So, that's the thing when you say, I stay at home. Well, you're not, a mom job is you never get any time off, right?
No. Oh, never. No. And it's so funny because it's like until you're actually a mom, it's like you don't really realize, you're like, oh, they must be busy. But, they have time. The kids nap, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh. That's like, it's just, I'll look back at myself when I thought those kind of things, and I just laugh. I laugh at myself. So I was like, what was I thinking? Like, no, you have barely any time to get anything done, but it's so worth it. So worth it.
I'd say, I have 3 boys, and they're all grown, 31, 29, and 26, which is, I can't even believe I'm saying those ages.
Oh my gosh.
But I've said the best thing I ever have done is be a mom to those guys. And it is, and I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years. In fact, when I owned my Pure Barre studio, that was the first time I really worked. Mm-hmm. And my youngest son, he was probably about 15 maybe when I owned it, 15 to about 19, 20, I don't know, somewhere in there. And he will say to this day that he kind of was more on his own because I was a single mom at that point. Yeah. And I kind of left him on his own, which I don't think that's all the way true. But
well, it's funny because you don't get a break when you're at home with the kids. They don't, they just, especially toddlers, they don't care, they don't care if you're tired. They don't care if, you've got your business and you're trying to juggle, they don't care.
That's right.
It is thankless, but just watching them grow, I'm sure, and it just gets better and better, I feel like. So,
It does.
Life is good.
It does. I will say it does get better and better. And then you get to be a grandmother like I am to a wonderful little girl.
It's so exciting.
It's the best. It's the
Yes.
best. Okay, so let's though talk about, so you're not just a mom, you're a blogger, an influencer, and you've got a side hustle.
Yeah, I've got a lot going on.
We got a lot going on. And with a 2 and 4-year-old, but that's the one thing I do love about your side hustle is that you can do it from home and you can tell them a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, so that's the beautiful thing about it. I actually discovered a product kind of through just my health journey, and it is called Prove It Ketones, and they have really been just kind of life-changing for me. And honestly, when I discovered them, I was not looking for another job at all. And I just kind of felt compelled to share this product with people because I felt like it could help so many. So that's, been where I started with that, about 3 months ago, and just really kind of hit the ground running because, like I said, I just have this passion for it. So that's definitely keeping me busy, trying to help spread the word and spread, good health to people. And then, just the boys and I've been into the blogging. That's been like several years now that I've been doing that and just kind of getting back into the swing of things, following some health issues that I had, it's been a year and a half now.
So tell us, so I've been watching your journey a little bit on Instagram, and we talked obviously before this because that's what as I watched, I was like, gosh, I want to, I'm a big believer in that we have to share our experiences because who knows who we might help. And that's one of the reasons I started my blog to begin with. And then with this podcast, that's my idea too, is I want to share so that other people maybe can learn something. Yes. So tell us about what happened and everything.
Yeah. So I think that's where we really have connected too, because I feel like we both come from a place of wanting to help people, whether it was with Pure Barre, help them get in shape, or now we're both more into health, just the health aspect, just like the well-rounded person. So yes, that is why I'm kind of back and trying to get more into my social media and blogging and all those things. And, also with the Prove It, just trying to, get back into helping people. That's what I love to do. But to go back to my story. So I guess, let's see, about 4 years ago, I started having some symptoms that were a little bit troublesome. But like we talked about, was owning a Pure Barre studio. I just had my first son. So I was super busy and literally just was brushing them off. And the things first thing I noticed was a little bit of a, my handwriting change. So it went from normal, big, pretty handwriting to this small, tiny, it was very difficult for me to write. And I just kind of thought, well, that's weird, but maybe it's because I don't write that much anymore. I do everything on the computer. That was my rationale. I was like, all right, just brush it off.
That's the way we always do things, right? We rationalize it.
I was like, I don't have time to have anything wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. So then I noticed as I was doing my longer walks, my foot started cramping and it was kind of turning and just felt funny. So I, again, was kind of well, I don't know. So I went to see an orthopedist. They said they didn't really think there was anything, they couldn't see anything structurally. So he was like, well, take he gave me a steroid, of course, which I didn't take because I was, I don't know, I'm weird with that kind of stuff. So like, I'll brush that off too. So anyways, long story, kind of just went about life and I got pregnant with my second son. And after I had him, the symptoms had, I guess, just kind of been progressing and I'd been continuing to ignore them, which I don't recommend.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's what happens to us. We're so busy taking care of everybody else and everything else.
We don't have time for that. We don't have time to be sick. We just don't. And so when I had Carson, my youngest son, he was maybe a month or so old, I noticed I'm right-handed and I was doing literally everything with my left hand. So I was eating with my left hand. I was putting on my makeup with my left hand. It was like, okay, this is strange. So I was like, I really have to figure out what's going on. And that right there started a 6-month-long journey for me of lots of doctor's visits, lots of doctor appointments, and just trying to get to the bottom of what was wrong with me. And, it was a very long 6 months. I tell everybody, I'm like, I would not wish that on anybody, not knowing what's wrong with you. I think that's worse than anything. Just, having that fear of the unknown, I guess. So, of course, I Googled my symptoms, and that is probably the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Dr. Google is no friend to anybody. So one of the first things that came up was ALS, which is so scary. Out of all the terrible diseases, that's probably at the top of the list. And I, freaked out. And so I started trying to get appointments for a neurologist. That was really hard to do. So I went to see a physiatrist, and he basically was like, oh, I think you might have a pinched nerve. Let's do some physical therapy. And I was like, okay. Well, so, I mean, I was obviously relieved that he didn't think I had ALS. So I was like, woohoo. So my husband and I left that appointment and we went and we had a drink. I mean, I had been so like worked up, just worried something major was wrong with me. It's like, oh, I was like a pinched nerve. Sure. Maybe that's what it is. And I started going to physical therapy about, 2 weeks later. I was like, nothing has changed. Like, that's definitely not what it is. There's something wrong with me. And I started proceeding to try to get into other doctors. And honestly, I've learned a lot about the healthcare system and, just learning how to be an advocate for myself. I had to do that. I had to ask for tests. I had to ask to get into different doctors. I just, kind of went on this, like I became an investigative reporter literally for my health and just went through all the motions. Finally went and saw this awesome doctor. He is an orthopedic surgeon and just is kind of my last ditch effort here in Memphis. I made my way to him and he was so nice, spent so much time with me. And at the end of our appointment, he was like, I think you need to pursue a trip to the Mayo Clinic if you can. And I was very fortunate that I was able to get into the Mayo Clinic. And there I was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease. So definitely a shocker. But honestly, my husband and I were relieved because for one, I'd made it up there. So I have an amazing team of doctors that are very positive and positive about the outcome and the outlook for me. But the biggest thing that I prayed for every day was that I was going to be here for my kids. And with this, it's just one of those things. Like, it's something I'm going to have to live with. Everybody's got something they have to live with. And this is mine. And, I want to hopefully use this. I know that God will use this for good. And, that's why I've kind of decided to get back out there and, share my story and then just, share positivity and just help people that maybe are going through something similar, maybe not a Parkinson's diagnosis, but maybe they're struggling with other health issues and, they can relate to what I've gone through. So it's been a long journey, but it's ended in a very happy place where we are right now. So
that's awesome. So when you were first diagnosed, that minute you heard Parkinson's, did you know what Parkinson's was?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because I actually thought I had Parkinson's at one point when I was trying to figure out what was wrong, and everybody thought I was crazy. They really did. They were like, you're way too young. You're a female. There's like no way. And I was like, well, I've, done all this research. I was like, that sounds kind of like my symptoms. And so I had actually asked for a certain scan. It's called a DAT scan. And was able to get one of those performed in Memphis. And so that's the one biggest thing I would say is that I've learned through this journey is that you have to ask for what you want and you have to be the researcher, because most of these doctors, there are a lot of good ones out there. Not to say that they're not good, but they a lot of times aren't trying to get to the bottom of things. They're maybe overwhelmed or maybe they just don't know, and that's one of the valuable things about going somewhere like Mayo Clinic is they do see cases like mine so much more often. So it was easier for them to diagnose. Whereas, some doctors here in Memphis, they probably don't have nearly as many patients like me. So I've learned that, you have to do the research. And so when they did, back to your question, when they did tell me that, I was a little bit shocked because I kind of thought I'd ruled that out. But I was also relieved that I knew what was wrong with me and that I had a plan of attack, It was like, okay, now I know, now there's a name to this. Now I know what I can do about it versus like just sitting there and being like, oh, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? It's like, okay, now I know, let's move forward. So it was a big relief, honestly, which sounds crazy.
So what have they told you that you can do for it?
So the biggest thing that I can do to slow the progression of the disease down is to exercise.
That worked.
Yeah. I mean, that worked out pretty well. So that's what I was laughing about with somebody the other day. I was like, if they had told me that I couldn't exercise or that I had to like sit on the couch all day, that would have been way more devastating to me. So that's the biggest thing is to exercise. It gets the helps slow the progression, gets the dopamine levels up in your brain. And it's maybe why I've loved exercise so much for so long. These diseases don't just come up overnight. It's definitely something that has been kind of, I guess, maybe working through my system, and it's just symptoms finally started to show up. So I've always loved exercise. So that was right up my alley. And I was like, all right, I can do that. That I know I can do. So I got home I was in December of 2018. And I got home and, kind of let it sink in. I didn't really tell just close family at first. And then January 1st of 2019, I've worked out every day since that day, done something every single day. Yeah. Because I'm like, well, if they told me 4 days a week 30 minutes a day. And I said, well, I'm going to do 4, might as well do 7. And that's got to be better than 4, right? So I don't know. But that's my philosophy. So I feel like more is better. So, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm being active and, doing something to really just, something I can control, I guess.
Yeah. And do you have medicines and stuff you have to take?
So I am on medication, and I've had to make some changes to that here and there, but it is working really well. Like I said, I'm so thankful for my doctors and my team of doctors up there. They are just, he basically told me, he said, for 10 years, he thinks that they can get me feeling close to 100%. And that's amazing. So, they're ready to tweak things if I need to and just make adjustments. And so far, I've been feeling really good. I had my checkup back in March, which was unfortunately via video conference. But he said, on my medication and with everything, he could not tell I have Parkinson's at all. So
that's awesome. So are you doing things with your right hand again then?
Yeah, I'm doing things with my right hand again. And, they go through like a series of tests. And everything feels, I would say I'm not 100%. I would say probably closer to 85, 90. But going from where I was, it's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. So what advice would you give to somebody who thinks something's not right with them?
Go search for answers and don't stop until you find the answer. Just don't give up, because somebody will find the answer for you. They will, but you have to be the one who does the research and ask for things. Don't be afraid to ask. Just because one doctor tells you something, they don't know everything. They really don't. And a lot of them are so specialized, or they don't see the whole picture, or, it's just whatever the reason. Don't just go by what, if I had done that, I would still be probably getting physical therapy right now thinking I have a pinched nerve. So I just, that it's hard to do sometimes too, because you think, well, they're so, they've been all this schooling, they know what's wrong, and you just kind of believe them. But when something's wrong with you, and you have to advocate for yourself. You have to. You're the only one who will do it. And even like for me, for example, I have an amazing family, amazing support system. But, a lot of people were kind of thinking I was probably a little crazy. Like I'm sitting here going, I can't move my right side. And I just had a baby. A lot of people were thinking like, postpartum, maybe you've got postpartum depression. But your body better than anybody. And just don't give up. Don't give up till you find an answer. And it may take a while. And you just
I think that advocating for yourself is huge. And if you can't advocate for yourself for whatever reason, then you need to find somebody to advocate for you.
Because you just can't let your case be sitting there in some doctor's office, and you can't, you just can't take no for an answer. And it's hard to do. And I'm not, I wouldn't say that but when typically the type of person who just like digs and digs and digs, but when something's wrong with you, and everybody's trying to like just kind of brush it off, it was like that just lit a fire in me. I was like, no, I know something's wrong with me.
See, I think internally, we as women especially, we have this other sense that we know, like there's something there and we know. And so you just have to.
Yeah, women's intuition. It is for sure a thing, I do believe. And yes, just not letting anybody, tell you that no is not an answer until I actually know what's wrong with me. And once that, like I said, it was a relief once you get to that answer. I think that's the other thing too. Sometimes it's like we're fearful of what the answer could be. So it's like, oh, well, pinched nerve sounds, that sounds like not too bad. So maybe I'll just accept that as the answer, as opposed to like really digging, like whatever it is, you can handle it. Just keep fighting for the answers.
And probably the earlier your diagnosis, the better.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, I know in certain diseases, especially, and even in mine, I now have all the tools and the resources to where I can feel really good for at least 10 years, feeling really good. And then, he told me probably 30 years before I even have to worry about anything being any kind of debilitating at all. So that's a long time. And by then, I'm very hopeful that there is a cure for this disease. So
well, we talked about, when I called you and we talked about this before, we talked about Michael J. Fox.
Oh my God.
And look at him.
Yes, he has done what he's done for the Parkinson's research in the community. He's just done amazing things. And he's been living with this since I think he was either 19 or 20. He was very young. So, and he's been living with it. He's in his 50s, I believe. And thriving and still, doing well. And the amount of research and the things that he's doing for Parkinson's is incredible. So very thankful that, yeah.
So, but overall, you live a healthy life. I mean, you eat good and everything, right?
I do. I live a really normal and healthy life. I eat healthy. I exercise every day. I try to, keep my family eating healthy and just, try to just be as healthy and as active as I possibly can. And it has honestly not slowed me down. I think it's even propelled me further and made me realize how important your health and your fitness and your wellness is, like how important just that vitality in your life is. It's there's nothing like it. And so you got to take care of your body as much as you can.
But you were living healthy before that, too.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been really into health and fitness for sure. But I think it's even made me, like I said, even more so. Like I really, take care of my diet. Like I try to make sure that just I'm getting the right nutrients and different things. Whereas before I would eat healthy and work out and all that. But I feel like I've taken it up a notch a little bit.
So talking about that, so do you do paleo or do any kind of specific?
So what I've added is we talked a little bit briefly at the beginning about the ketones. So one of the things that I've been researching for Parkinson's specifically, and just really for everybody in general, is the benefits of being in a state of ketosis and a ketogenic diet. However, I found that was really very difficult for me. I got back from Mayo Clinic and I was like, I just don't think I can get my carbs as low. I don't think I can eat the certain, things that I needed to really stay in ketosis. So I was eating low carb, but I wasn't able to ever really get to the point of staying in ketosis. So when I discovered this product, it's really been a game changer for me. I have all kinds of my energy levels have improved. My mental clarity has improved. My focus. It's really curbed cravings for things that I had a huge sweet tooth, huge. And I was laughing the other night. We were out to dinner and everybody's like, well, let's get dessert. And I was like, I'm normally the one who's like, yeah. And then I'll have a bite. And then it turns into like half the brownie and ice cream and all that stuff. And I literally sat there and just was like, no, thanks. I'm good. I was already full. I'd had steak and, healthy, like some veggies and a good healthy meal. And I was like, I'm done. And my husband looked at me. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, no dessert for me. So it's really helped with that, just curbing cravings and those type of things. And, just so many benefits for the brain to get your body into that state of ketosis. So it's been an amazing discovery for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That is, when you find something like that that works for you, and you can't help but share it. It just is,
right. You feel very just compelled to share it. Like I said at the beginning, I was definitely not looking for a job or anything else to really add to my plate. I felt like it was pretty full, but the benefits that I felt and how amazing I felt compelled to share it to other people. And it helped so many different people. My brother-in-law, for example, is doing amazing with it. He's lost 18 pounds since June. He's diabetic, and it's been helping him tremendously. So, yeah, it's been a great discovery, and, just being in health and fitness and that being my passion, I'm just so happy to be able to share it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and one of the things I've learned that if anybody says they're too busy, it doesn't matter. We make time for the things that we're passionate about.
100%. Yes. That is true. And I mean, look at, you've got so many things going on too. You're so busy. And, like you said, if you're passionate about it, then you'll make time for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the whole key. And I mean, what great thing to have as a side hustle as a mom.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think these type of companies are perfect for moms, for stay-at-home moms, or even empty nesters.
100%, because it's like I can, no offense to like having a bunch of employees, but it's hard. As you can relate, with Pure Barre and stuff, like you have employees and, there's always somebody's got a problem, and just having that overhead. This is a beautiful thing because you don't have the overhead and you don't have a lot of people that you're having to try to manage. You manage yourself and your business and helping people, and you start to build a team, but it's people that want to be there and work with you. And it's really, it's been an incredible experience. And to be able to do it from home and, spend as much time with my kids, that's my number one priority, always my number one job. And so to be able to spend time with them, and also for them, I think what I was talking about with my husband is I want them to see me working and doing, like, mommy can do it too, not just, daddy goes to work. Mommy can do it too, but I can do it around their schedule and when they need me. And so it's been amazing.
Well, the same thing, I've joined, partnered with an athleisure brand.
Yes.
And I got my daughter-in-law involved because I was like, man, the thing is when you can do it from home and do it your way and not have the overhead, like you said, and do it on your time, make it your way. That is the key, I think, to be a mom but even at my stage in life,
Yes. And there's nothing better than working for yourself. I mean, it's like, who wants to go in and plug in the hours when you can do, like you said, do it from home, do it around your schedule and work for yourself too. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And it's something that I never really saw myself doing, but I just feel like, yes, more moms need to realize that they can do it too.
Yeah.
You don't have to have any magical powers. You can do it too. You can do it from home, and it's awesome.
Yeah, because it's doing what we always do, right? We share everything that we love.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Oh, I found these cute leggings. They're so awesome. Like, you've got to try it. That's it. I mean, that's really, that's it. It's that simple. It almost is like, simple.
Where'd you get your hair done?
Yeah.
You tell somebody where you got your hair done. Where'd you get that lipstick? That's all it is, right?
Exactly right. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Well, Kimberly, I'm so glad you're doing so well, and I'm so glad that we got to connect and for you to share your story.
And I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great to reconnect and share, our healthy tips and all of the fun things that we do.
And I love watching your Instagram. I saw the other day you were doing some exercises on there.
Yes. I've added that in. So it's a healthy dose of style on Instagram. And I'm starting to do that once a week, just a workout Wednesday. I love working out and love sharing just new exercises and things people can do from home, since we're all at home so much now.
And it was great. I really liked it because you didn't have a lot of equipment either, which was nice.
That's what I try to do. I think you can get such an effective workout with just body weight. And I use some light resistance bands that you could literally buy. I think I got mine at Marshall's or somewhere just somewhere easy and Target. And yeah, that's it. It's really all you need. Your body weight and some resistance tubes, and get a great workout.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can find you on Instagram at
A Healthy Dose of Style. And my blog is ahealthydoseofstyle.com. And I'm on Facebook as well. And it's Kim Smith Morgan there.
Okay. Well, thank you again.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me. And I love following along on everything that you've got going on as well. It's always so fun. So
it's always a journey, right? Yeah. And I'm a big believer. We have to share it.
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Well and Worthy Life podcast. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please share it on your social media and tag both of us. Deanna, you can just tag me at Well and Worthy Life. And then Kimberly, you can tag her on A Healthy Dose of Style and share it. Because, there may be somebody out there that needs to hear Kimberly's story. And so we need to make sure that they hear that they need to dig deep and find out what's going on. If they need to advocate for themselves, or maybe you need to advocate for a parent or your grandparent or somebody important in your life. So y'all listen up and be sure and tag us, share it. Thank you again for joining me. See you guys later. Bye.